I am maybe live now. We don't know. At some point, we'll all find out. Just gonna give it a little minute, let people roll in for a bit, and get in the chat if you want to. And I'm just gonna keep looking around and make sure everything's okay. But I've been like triple checking this because live streaming is such an ordeal. I've got 2 laptops, a lav and a microphone and headphones and an interface and a camera. Things are crazy. Okay, I think we're probably safe to get going. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. So if you haven't seen what's going on, Ableton, because Loop was canceled this year, they're doing a few streams and different like challenges and stuff this weekend. So if you go to loop.ableton.com, you can see what we're about to get into. And some people have been sharing their results, their responses to this challenge already. But basically, there's some instructions, and I believe this came from or was inspired by this art movement called Fluxus. So instruction music is like this list of things that you're supposed to do. And today we're going to do this very odd particular one that I don't know if Ableton came up with it or if they got it from somewhere. But maybe I'll read it like one step at a time as I do them, and we're just going to make some interesting music today. Yeah, does that sound fun? Maybe like quick intro just in case you're tuning in completely randomly, you don't know who I am. I'm Andrew Huang. I do a YouTube channel all about music and the creative process. Music producer, mainly working on like commercial stuff when I get work in that world, although lately it's just more fun to do YouTube and release my own original stuff. So yeah, that's me. Let's get into some instruction music. Step 1, go to the kitchen and listen to the sound of the refrigerator or find something else making consistent noise. Don't record it. Instead, listen for 3 minutes, then try to replicate it using an instrument, a synthesizer, or your voice. Record your approximation of the fridge tone and loop it into a continuous drone. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this mic over so you can hear the fridge with me, but when I skimmed the instructions earlier, I ran into this issue where sometimes the fridge was making sounds and sometimes it was not. And right now it is deathly silent. So I think what I'm gonna do is just open it for a second. Sorry, environment. Maybe I'll top up my water. I have a really idiotic fridge where the water thing is inside the fridge, so you have to open the fridge to get your filtered water. This is the inside of my fridge, everybody. A lot of sauces. Let's see if that kick-started some some humming. Welcome to the stream, where we listen to my fridge. Yeah, nothing. Okay, you know what? Let's listen to the filtered water thing because that was humming, and we need a humming sound, as the instructions say. Wait, is it coming from up here? Oh man, there's too much water. Hold on a second. I need to like hold the mic where the humming's coming from. Maybe turn it up a little bit. And then also hold the water under here to catch the, okay. Are you hearing that? I should jump into the chat and see what's happening. This is this is like more challenging than playing drums, man. A lot of things on the go. Holding the water, getting the hum tone. This is great. I'll take it. Fridge content. Still nothing, man. Okay, well, did you hear the hum? Let me know if you heard the hum that we ended up getting, and I'm gonna jump into Ableton and start trying to recreate that. Oh, that's a little loop I was using to test the audio of the stream. Okay, headphones time. It's a hum for sure. Dope. that's the note that I'm remembering. Let's pull up an operator. Do. Anyone in the chat know what note that is? Ooh, B flat. Also, let me know how the audio is between my voice and Ableton. I want to say that was the octave. Slightly more harmonics. Let's just like loop a note. Oh. How would we get this closer to the hum sound? It was a little noisier. Maybe white noise on an oscillator here. But should it be like FMing the others, or should this just be mixed in? No, I think it sounded good there. Just like a faint little hiss, little texture added onto the hum. Weirdly, what I feel like we need is reverb. Not that there's really actual reverb on the fridge, but I want to like smear the sound out a bit. And because it's a continuous tone, it's not like a, just a one shot. You're not necessarily going to be hearing the reverb. It's all going to be like one continuous thing. But I just want to have this tone to be more blended. Oh, there's even like that slight bit of chorusing, or yeah, it's like kind of wavering a bit. It feels a little more mechanical already. Should we try like layering in a subtle octave below maybe? Just want something to be a bit more full about this tone. I don't know if that's doing much. Maybe this one? Ooh. I think that's pretty good for step one. How about it? Lost in the fridge pad. Lost in the sauce. All right, yeah. Gotta go back to my instructions here and see what is next. 2, go back to the refrigerator and discover as many ways of opening it as possible. Open it gleefully, accusingly. Those sounded the same. Where am I here? As slowly as possible. Wait, I'll mic this up for you. I feel like as slowly as possible and as quietly as possible, which is the next suggestion, are the exact same. What are some other ways that we could open this? Like just a little bit? Or like a whole lot at once? Ooh. I feel like we're mostly hearing this like huge amount of sauces and alcohol, but that's okay. The door's in there too. So when you've discovered enough, perform and record your favorite 3 processy sounds in your DAW to accentuate their textures. Okay, I did like the real quiet one, just a little. And then, yeah, the real, really going for it, opening big and wide. And then maybe, closing the door is kind of a part of opening it. It's the yin and the yang. So I'm going to record slamming the fridge closed too. How about that? All right, let's record. Test, test, test. Yeah, this is happening. Little check. Not clipping. Okay, we'll do the loud ones first. The fridge is humming for real now, guys. Sounds similar to what we already got. Okay, let's roll. Oops, don't need to record operator MIDI. Let's roll on these sounds. Okay, real big open. And let's turn this up and get a very quiet. Did that pick up at all? Okay, we're gonna work with what we got here. Oh yeah, I should probably be like switching back and forth between Ableton and the full camera, full screen, huh? Well, live and learn. So, ooh, let's turn that down. Get my chat open again. Streaming is so complicated, guys. Turn Ableton up more. Okay, will do. Let me just adjust that right now. In OBS, or OBS as I like to call it. All right, let me know how this is. You hearing that Ableton audio? Am I hearing that Ableton audio? Okay, real big open. There we go. What am I doing? Okay, get right in there. One sound. Two sound. And then somewhere away at the end, we've got like that really quiet. I'll work with open. Ooh, that's it. Ableton is too loud. Okay. Let me know if this is good. Of course, I'm showing you the quietest sound right now. Hold on. Here's the fridge hum. Here's some fridge sounds. I'm going to try and keep up with this. Someone said, okay, Ableton is both perfect, according to one comment, and way too loud, all caps, according to another. So we'll just keep monitoring this situation and see what we get. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Delete this and collect all our sounds together here. Let's just get these edit points perfect. Oop. And okay. Let's just boost you up a bit, huh? Hello, buddy. Okay, is that part of it too? Yeah, we'll go up until I said okay. All right, well, I got those. Let's hop back over to the instructions and have a look. Right, process these sounds in your DAW to accentuate their textures. Okay, let's go. So let's put each on its own track. And let's play with them. Just loop it maybe. What's this look like? Looks like a lot of low end. Maybe we can turn this into a kicky sound. Whoa. This is cool. There's definitely some good energy in there. Just finding what's like interesting in the mid-range. Yeah, that little spot feels less useful to me, but maybe there is like, feels like there's a note. Let's saturate this. Okay. Pretty fun. Getting kind of a click now at the beginning. Maybe this needs a touch more of a fade here. Or is it because the ending is looping on some little non-zero point? Or it's the saturator. What else could we do to bring this sound to accentuate this texture? What do you think, chat? Oh yeah, I love seeing the Ableton help happening in the chat. I mean, this is kind of techno just already, you know. What if we just shorten this loop? I can't shorten it, man. Okay. Okay, I remember in the instructions I'm not supposed to make a beat though, or not yet anyway. So let me know. I'm waiting. There's like a 30-second delay between what I do and you guys seeing it. So I'm a little bit ahead of you. We got drum bus as a suggestion. Yes, obviously. Pedal effect. Delete the saturator. OTT, of course. Sausage fattener. Layer it with a pitched copy. Okay, let's do as much of that as possible from memory. Saturator off. Duplicated one. Let's group them. Put a drum bus on. Make it really tight like this. And yeah, I think we gotta tame that. Let's bring the EQ to the group. We gotta tame that high end. Let's see. We've used all these bands. Okay. Some like gross stuff in there. There's one little, I think it's a bottle like kind of ringing. Beep, beep, beep. Where is that? Yeah, it's like in there. Let's notch that. Okay. Oh yeah, we've got two of these. I was meant to pitch one and I didn't yet. So hold on. Let's unwarp them both. Maybe octave. 2 octaves. No. 1 octave versus just the original. I mean, it's doing a little bit. What do you guys think? More boom? Yeah, let's boom this. Where are we boosting here? 66, 67. We're like really, really loud here, aren't we? Let's just dip this. That's one thing with drum bus is like I feel like it adds 13 dB to everything that goes through it. Okay. Stream is quiet. Dang, what's happening? Well, I'll pop my lav up to maximum here. And well, not maximum, but you know, higher. All right, let's get to the next sounds. Process them, bring out their texture. What do we have here? OTT time. Okay, I got this comment the other day where, because I use the X for OTT, and it's just like one little way that I can stop comments from happening where people are like, what's OTT? Or like if I use the Ableton OTT, then all these people who don't use Ableton on my videos would be like, oh, I can't do that in my DAW. So yeah, they're pretty much the same thing. I think they are supposed to be identical. And yeah, that's why I use the Xfer one and not the Ableton one in my videos. Oh, listen to how great that noise at the end is. Let's bring that out a bit. Cool. Maybe not like maximum depth here. I see auto filter in the chat. Let's do it. Actually, let's do some EQing too. Let's start with that. Maybe put this after. What is that like rattle after? Is that just more stuff in the fridge settling? Because I really like that. That's where a lot of our room tone is. And some like unavoidable high-end hiss when stuff is cranked so much with OTT. Maybe we can OTT after. Doesn't make a huge difference. What if we like slow this way down? Just really hear every detail. 2 octaves down. Let's get rid of our other sound for later. That's really fun. This EQ might not apply now that I've shifted everything around. Sweeping it like that is cool. I'm gonna do that instead of the auto filter. I'm just gonna, let's get like a LFO going, and we'll map that to the frequency of band 3. Just to have this do it by itself for a little bit while we listen. So yeah, you know, accenting all different parts of the texture at different times. Yeah. Okay, I don't need all that air at the end. Let's just cut this back down. Maybe like, I don't know what's going on the low end. Definitely don't need all of that stuff like below 20. Like should it start slow and then get faster, or maybe start fast and then get slower? I could just like play with that one knob for the whole stream, but we should probably move on. Is there anything else you want me to do with this sound before we move on to that final super quiet sound? Let's see. Ooh, reverse it. Yeah. Grains. You could throw the grain delay on it. Or wait, granulator. Yeah, I haven't messed with granulator too much, but I should have it because it's like the... Oh, I don't. Why don't I have granulator? I thought it just came with like the whole Max for Live thing. All right, we're doing grain delay. Actually, let's automate this this rate thing that we want to happen. So from fast to slow. Oh gosh, come on. Okay, and what are we gonna do with grain delay? This is just like the default preset. Maybe like half wet so that the original comes through, and this is kind of like a delay. I want to get the feedback up. It definitely feels like it's perfectly within the world of this original sound that's so like clattery and chaotic. Granulator 2 and grain freeze are definitely things I gotta look into. What was the other? Was there another suggestion that I had just seen? Oh, reversing it. What's it sound like reversed? I like them both. Okay, copy, paste, and keep them both. Let's play with the reverse one for a lull. Grain delay is so fun, and it's always one where I end up feeling like there's a million options and I want to record them all. I feel like if I weren't, doing a 1 hour stream here, I would just like mess with this for an hour and record the whole thing, get a resample channel going. Okay. Some people saying pitch shifting it down, pitch shifting it up. Let's do with the warp on. Is that what you guys are feeling? Like lower, two more octaves down, but with warping on. Let's do 2 octaves higher. Oh, hell yeah. 2 more from there. And all the way up. I mean, that's pretty typical of what you get out of Ableton on Beats mode when you crank anything up more than like 2 or 3 octaves. But let's try like the texture mode. It's kind of cool at the original transposition setting. I think we got to modulate the grain delay too. But the question is like, do we want to end on some of these like high grains and let those drift away, or maybe low? I think we need even more feedback. We could do like random pitch too. Spray all the way up. Okay, I feel like this is pretty sweet. I'm just gonna do some like one passive random automation recording on the grain delay, and then we'll move on to the next sound, because this is clearly we could be here forever. Yeah, that's great. Okay, sound number 3. Whoop. Wow, it's so boring now compared to what we were just doing. What is that, like a hand clap? There's a kind of a buzz in it. Also, like a surprising amount of low end. I guess we're closing a giant resonator over there. What should we do with this sound? Spray ain't my friend much. Interesting song title. Optimus Prime transformation, yes. Oh yeah, we could resample this and slice it to a drum rack. I'm reading comments about the old sound because we're still catching up here. Minimal kick and bass. Oh, this is the kick. We already made the kick earlier. Wait, let's have a listen. Yeah, let's just. I mean, my first instinct was clap. Let's clap. We could do like a few kind of in different timing positions and pitch shifted differently. This is just completely at random here. Fade them out. Make them really tight. Okay, let's group that, put a compressor on it to make it snappy. Wait, what is happening? Is it really that quiet? Oh, because this is a side chain. Okay. Whoop. And EQ before all that. Whoa. Little verb. How about that? Checking in on the chat again. Pan maybe. Yes, thank you. A little bit here, a little bit there. I don't actually know if the stream is in stereo, but that's pretty fun. Okay, back to our instructions. Which other sounds in your kitchen would make a great companion to your drone and refrigerator openings? Choose 3 sounds to record that could build a symphony of sonic possibility. Consider brightness, duration, loudness, pitch, and speed. Import them into your session, process them until they live up to their potential, and place them on a timeline with a space in between each sound. Okay, we're already half an hour in, slightly more, so I'm going to do this so fast. Just going to grab 3 things. Cutting board. 2 spoons. Oh, wait. Frying pan? Yeah, let's get the wok. All right. I don't have a mic stand, so I'm just going to position this on the edge of the counter and we'll record these sounds. Can you see? Yeah, you can see this, right? Okay, let's get out of Ableton View. Hello. By the way, I'm using this Loughton Audio LS208. This is like one of my favorite mics lately. It's got a really nice top end, but also like very directional, a lot of off-axis rejection. So pretty happy about it for recording like wild sounds like this. Let's get, is this just a free channel down here that wasn't doing anything? Cool. Whoop, clip. Let's record a spoon and a wok and a cutting board. Good enough. Yeah. What's this gonna sound like? Okay. Let's have a listen. I like both of those. This one has a more like unified feeling to it. Oh, got a cable covering my touchpad here. Come on. You need to see Ableton, don't you? There's the walk. And cutting board. I think because we already have a couple like very clean one-shot type things, I'm gonna go with that little finger wrapping noise. Okay. Fade out that room tone. Man, when recording small sounds, this is the problem I have all the time with found sound, is that when you're not in your perfectly quiet studio environment, there's always a little bit of room tone. I think now my fridge is actually humming like we wanted it to so many moons ago. Any suggestions for processing these sounds? I really do want that walk to reverb out. Actually, you know what? Let's get it in a sampler so we can play it. Okay. Walk is melodic. There's a lot of all caps corpus in the chat, and I don't know if that's just one person over and over, but sure, let's corpus this. It's already a very like corpusy sound. So how meta would this be to put it through corpus? Ooh, interesting like inharmonic resonance there. I like membrane a lot. Okay. Maybe reverb after it. I'm going to live with that for now since we are getting low on time. What was our other sound? The spoons. Spoon suggestions? It's pretty wild that corpus is like one of those love-hate effects, I feel like. I know so many people who are like all about the corpus, and then for me and a couple other people, I think I talked to Adam Neely about this one time. We're like, what's the worst Ableton effect? And both of us said corpus, like hands down. I don't know, I've never been a corpus user. But thanks for pushing me out of my comfort zone. Corpus and ping pong. Sure, let's do it. Gate that reverb. I think I've unwittingly encouraged some of y'all to use caps now, but there we are. It's gonna be an all caps chat now. Oh wait, I'm on the spoon sound. What is going on? I am so silly. There we go. Where did I put that delay? Okay. This gate is not helping us. Gate after reverb, delay after gate. And ping pong. Let's do a little bit of modulation on the time. Not so much, but just a little bit of flutteriness, you know? And how you like that gate? Oh, we should ARP this walk too, guys. I'm trying to move on to the next sound. Okay, this is the last thing we're going to do. ARP the walk, and whoop. Why am I not? Wow, wow. I'm a professional Ableton. Okay. Somebody tell me a chord. I'm gonna use the first chord that comes in to the chat. Okay, in the meantime, I'm just gonna say the spoon sound is good as is. Because we're running low on time. And what was this last thing? Oh yeah, what will we do to accentuate that? The little clipboard. I see C7. Okay, it's happening. Maybe we can do a really interesting voicing though of a C7. That is too much reverb. Hold up a second. Let's do a second chord. How about that? I also saw, I believe, G and E minor. A major 7, F sharp. Okay, now there's just so many chords in there. So I'm just going to go with the first 3 that I saw. We will also do some kind of weird G voicing. Let's throw in a 9. How about that? Am I not hearing all these notes? What's happening? We got a... Oh, I just had to re-trigger it. Okay, and we'll do an E minor. Do, do, do. Here's our chords, guys. All right, we're just gonna go with the classic 16th notes. Were there any suggestions for what to do with the other sounds? Distortion and EQ on the clap scratch noise. Let's just do that real quick. Amp. That was kind of the best thing there. I love how much sizzle there is on that now. And EQ. Boom. A little low attenuation. I'm gonna live with that. Okay, instructions time. Where were we? Import them in your session, process them, place them on a timeline with some space between each sound. We've done that. This might be too much space. mix in your continuous tone from step 1 and try not to make a track or a beat, no problem there. Arrange percussive sounds like objects in an exhibition so each one can be observed on its own. Think of the tone as a wallpaper or a wall. Okay, so we've got a bunch of sounds in this area. What is this? This is, oh, it's only like 40 seconds or something like that. Cool. Now, this is the part that's funniest to me. Sit at a window and play your arrangement. Listen to your sounds while you observe what's happening outside. Now decide on a tempo to match your view of the outside world. So I've got a window over here. I'm tethered by my headphones, but I will just look out my window at the part of my backyard that I can see, which has a wheelbarrow and some pieces of wood, and it's a little wet in Toronto today. Some dead plants. It's a good time. Okay, let's listen to this and look out the window and decide on a tempo. That was it, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, it seems slow out there. Literally nothing happened. I can only see a little chunk of backyard. No trees swaying. Nary a squirrel scurrying by. So I think we're going slow. Let's tap tempo something like really slow. My Q key is set up as a tap tempo shortcut, by the way. Go back to the instructions again with our new tempo in mind, which is 63.92. Consider your sounds. Which can be made into one-shot hits? I think we know. Which can be made into melodic instruments? We definitely know. Which can be discarded? None of them. Make some decisions and build a simple 8-bar loop at the tempo you've decided on. All right, let's go, guys. First, maybe we could tune the tone to the key of our walk here. Seems like, is it out of tune or is it just too chorusy? Oh, did I do this whole thing wrong? Or no, it's because the walk isn't tuned, obviously. Okay, we'll just go by ear. The walk was only off by like a semitone though, actually, from concert. I think we want this to be a minor drone. All right, it's a bit weird over that chord, but cool. And 8 bars, you say? Okay, we'll repeat this. Wait, what is happening? I have 3 chords that are a bar each. And okay. Yeah, that's right? Okay. Kick drum, where you at? Doom, doom. Just do this for now and see if we need to adjust it later. Oh yeah, our weird noise. It's like a completely different mood from everything else we've done. But maybe if I just grab like random little snippets to be little accents. Whoop, whoop. Come on, get there. Or does the whole thing need to be in there as like a background vibe? Sidechain some stuff. The kick. I think this is the wrong note. We want it to be. Okay, a few more sounds to throw in here. We got our clap. Oh wait, did I paste that wrong? Come on. And there was like a cooler clap when we did that distorted. Why did I call it a clipboard? Whoops, it's a cutting board. I'm sure someone in the chat already called me out for that. Good stuff. I'm not using any of my brain for words right now, just so you know. It's all for sounds. Ooh, that is not lined up. Let's just use from this big transient. Pretty loud. And again, we will copy paste. And we have what? The spoon left? Yeah, we used the walk already. Maybe I'll put this in a sampler and just like perform a little rhythm. Oh, stop, click on the right thing. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. Oh, and I hit record again by accident. There was one weird one, but whatever, let's loop this. That one. This is not supposed to be there. Okay. It could use a little reverb. I'm just going to send it to, I have this Valhalla as a default in my default project. Sure, we got to move on. How's the chat doing? Oh, people are talking about completely unrelated stuff. Good. Transpose the spoon slightly. That snare is off. Man, getting comments about your snare is always the worst feeling. Okay, it's time for a snack. Make note of the time. Play your loop and go back to your kitchen and grab a snack. Listen to your loop while you're chewing and think about what you'd like to do next. A snack. Okay. We got like 9 almonds. So I'm going to listen to this loop while I eat this. And I got to time it. By the way, Ableton folks, like official Ableton folks in the chat, let me know if we can go slightly long, because I do want to do the Q&A that we had talked about, and we just got so absorbed in sound making Okay, what am I doing? Timer, stopwatch. Gonna eat a snack. I eat almonds every day, BT dub. It's one of the things that I do, and now you know. I'm gonna read some comments and talk with my mouth full. I forgot the part about listening to it. I was just timing how long it's going to take me to eat this. Because that becomes the length of the track in the next step. And done. 1:12. Cool. So now the length of time it took for you to eat the snack is the exact length of your track. Go back to your workspace and make an arrangement with your loop using only the sounds you've gathered so far. It should feel hungry at the start and satisfied at the end. That's a challenge. Okay, I'm gonna put some blank space at the beginning of this because we're probably building up to this. And start with the hum. What's the hungriest part of this? Is it our weirdo granular loop? Yeah, sure, because it's like sounds like chewing, and it's very unresolved. Let's fade in the walk. Hungry, yeah. Kick drum comes in. No, not yet, not yet. Okay. Claps in next. What was this stuff? Oh, the spoons. And then I'm just gonna run with this. Everything cuts out for a second, except the walk. And then it comes back. With the bigger clap, sure. That's our arrangement. Except it's only supposed to be 1:12, so I gotta shave off like 4 bars. Okay, we'll make the intro shorter. Oh wait, there's one more instruction. Go back to your refrigerator, listen intently to the sound you started with. What features does the sound have that your arrangement doesn't? Texture, sustain, warmth, resonance, something else. Go back to your session and add the missing elements. I don't know, man. Pretty sure that this hum is super basic, and we more than covered it. But thanks anyway, instructions. Okay, what are we feeling, y'all? Is there something horribly wrong with this that we made so quickly that we should address, or do we want to get into a little bit of Q&A time if that's okay with the folks running the stream? to go a little bit longer. Imagine making music with instructions like this. Just imagine. I'm going to bounce back to this view. Do we want to hear any of that again? Do we want to do any final adjustments, or do we just want to do Q and A? Spoons need work. Pitch down the snare. Add the water. Should have used the water drops. Water drip vibes. My favorite comment is, I think it sounds good, man. Make the last chord the home chord. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it kind of is. If we're in E minor, we'll just, wait, hold on. Yeah, we'll destroy everything after that point, and this is how the song ends. And it'll fade out right at 112. Boom. Do you feel satisfied? Need some vocal? Man, a lot of people want this water sound in, y'all. I don't have time to make a whole new bunch of samples. Gurgle the water. Love it. Y'all are so fun. Well, this was fun. I'm going to switch over to Q&A since it is now 1 hour in, and then I haven't heard from Ableton, or maybe they've said something in the chat that I've missed, but we'll just go for a little bit, and maybe they'll kick us out. Who knows? How does streaming work? They were going to throw a bunch of the... Oh, I got an email saying we can go longer. Okay, let's do like another, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes and just get through some fun questions. So they said they were going to put the Q&A stuff in a little document here. Awesome. What are your sidechain settings? Should we look at the sidechain settings? Yeah. Well, I'll just open a blank track here and show you the preset that I use. So I have a preset called a sidechain, and I said a sidechain as the name because when I open my compressor presets, it comes up first, but also lately I just like use the search bar, so typing in sidechain works fine. But yeah, there's the sidechain thing. So you select whatever input you're gonna be ducking with, and then usually I have it as low pass being the default, 200 hertz, because you know that's where most of your kick drum is gonna live. I have a really random ratio here, 4.67. I don't know why it ended up there, but I would usually go like anywhere from 4 all the way up, just depending on, you know, how intense I want it to be. Although that doesn't make nearly as much difference as just like the threshold set, you know, where it makes sense for the track. And that's just something you got to dial in each time, depending on the source sound, depending on the sound that you're side chaining. So this I have anywhere probably usually between -5 and -25, something like that. Attack is almost always as short as possible. And then release again is like very track dependent because it is so much to do with how you want the sidechain sound to breathe with the tempo of your tune. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I mean, I guess release I would usually have maybe as short as like 20 milliseconds, but sometimes as high as 200, just if you really want to feel that sucking kind of vibe. Yeah, that's sidechain settings. Question number next. Sometimes I use the tuner with a snare kick and it doesn't detect the pitch. I actually don't do that, although that's a great tip. I would usually just put a distortion or saturator on a drum sound and like really crank it, because that distortion brings out kind of the main tones. So it doesn't always work, you know, if you get a noisier sound with a lot of high end in it, it can make it, it can just not be helpful. But yeah, you could also like auto filter before the distortion, then crank up that distortion and you'll be distorting like the fundamental. And that would hopefully bring out like what the main tone is. But also sometimes with drums, you don't have a constant pitch. You might have something that kind of falls. You might have just something pretty noisy. But yeah, that would be my go-to, is kind of like tuning by ear, or maybe, you know, after you put those effects on, putting the tuner on would help it. What got you into modular synthesis? I was way back in the day when I was in school, I was listening to all different kinds of stuff. And by accident, I happened to be listening to modular synth music because I would go to the library at my school. This was years before streaming was a thing. I'd go to the library at my school and take out, I'm gonna get a chair, and take out CDs of experimental music, and I would literally just look up like what's in the experimental section of the library and take things out at random or like with interesting titles. And I happened to take out Morton Subotnick's Silver Apples of the Moon one time. And I was like, wow, this is some crazy stuff. No idea how it was made. Around the same time, I was listening to this band called the Mei Shi, and I was like just reading about them on the internet. And one of the band members is Ezra Buchla, who is Don Buchla's son. And Don, of course, invented Buchla synthesizers. And so just through my weird internet research, I learned about those synths and saw pictures of them and thought they were like magnificent, and also that, you know, they're way too expensive. But I got into synthesis through Reactor, and so Native Instruments Reactor lets you like build different kinds of basically synths. Like it's got the building blocks of it all. And I also like experimented a little bit with Max MSP, which I'm still trying to learn now again. But it was a bit more complicated. Obviously, Ableton's got like Max for Live integration now, which is super fun to be able to build your own plugins. But that was sort of where I got into the kind of like node-based, patch-based programming and synth creating. And of course, it was really just like a matter of time before getting into the hardware side of things, which is, you know, not necessary. You can do so many of the same things other than maybe like crazy audio rate stuff with software. But it's a lot more fun working with hardware. And yeah, and the Eurorack was exploding and getting more and more, you know, relatively affordable compared to what modular synths were like. So that was kind of the thing. And it was just like the interest in the wildness of the sounds and also of the interconnectivity and like generative kind of approaches you could take to music that got me really interested in it and has kept me super interested in it. The next question is, do you think it's harder to brand yourself as an artist if you make music in multiple different genres compared to making music in only one genre like electronic music or hip hop? Yes, definitely. Branding is like a weird, gross thing that I hate. How about that? I've been really lucky because doing my YouTube channel the way that I've done it, the brand is more just like, it's just me. It's just what is the stuff that I'm interested in making, and I'll try and tell the story of it or show the techniques behind it and hopefully make that fun as a video, which has turned out to be, it's really interesting seeing the audience grow because it's been not even just music makers, but all kinds of different people who just tune in to see whatever weird musical thing I'm up to next. So that's been cool because it's allowed me to still work in all different kinds of genres and make whatever I want to make. But it's still contained within this kind of unified, for lack of a better word. I mean, it's still a bit scattered, but it's in a brand. And that helps on the promotional side of things, on the growth side of things. It's definitely a big part of how things have to be done if part of what your goals are with music are reaching other people with it and having it heard. So yeah, I think, I see it so often with so many artists. Like, it's almost like the stronger the brand is, the more successful they'll be. It's really like, I have a friend who's fond of saying a band is a brand, because more than the music, you really are kind of selling an idea. And a lot of the times, you may or may not pay as much attention to this, but what we connect to really strongly with an artist is often what they represent to us, as much as, or maybe in some cases more than, the actual sound waves that they are sending to us through our speakers and headphones. So it's an interesting question. Yeah, I think it just, you need to figure out what aligns with your own goals musically and career-wise about how strongly you want to brand yourself and how, which of those directions that you're interested in can become kind of the one if you are going to be super strongly branded. Advice on turning loops into full songs and arrangements. I have a video on this called almost exactly that. I can't remember exactly what, but it's basically like what I break it down to is thinking about the energy of the song. Like if you're going to create a new section, does it need to go up or go down? And then kind of the easiest starting point or the easiest frame of mind to be thinking about when you're expanding on an idea is change some things and then keep some things. So like you don't have to completely start from scratch when you're making a new section or trying to flesh out your loop. You should keep a few of the things going, maybe slightly alter them, and then have new things come in. And it can be absolutely anything that stays the same and absolutely anything that changes. Maybe the chords are the same the entire song, but sometimes a synth is playing them, sometimes a guitar is playing them. Or maybe the drum beat is the same throughout the whole song, but there's a completely different chord progression when you get to the chorus, like that kind of stuff. So it really is about, I think, grabbing an element or two of what you already have and then trying to jam on that and come up with something new, and then it'll kind of automatically be related to what you already have. But yeah, like I said, I do have 1 or 2 videos about that on my channel if you search like making full tracks or making tracks instead of loops, that kind of thing. And I also have an online course that's like all about finishing songs, doing songs start to finish. So learnmonthly.com/Andrew if you're interested in doing the course. We're going to open that up again on May 18th, I believe, which is just a few weeks away. Enrollment for the course again. So what was the longest time you've ever spent on a single tune? I have a song out called Young on an album called Stars. And that song, well, I guess I could interpret this question in 2 ways. That song took 10 years, but I definitely wasn't working on it the whole 10 years. But it was just go in and work on it and then leave it for a couple years, go in and work on it again. And just, it took me so long to find the right vibe that I wanted for it, to find the right chorus that I wanted for the verse that I had had for years. And then as far as just like cumulative hours put into a track, I don't know, it's gotta be something like 70 or 80 hours maybe. I'm trying to like break it down, but I definitely would spend like full days on just making ideas, full days on just recording instruments and vocals. I've done full like 1 or 2 complete work days on just vocal production, like tuning, processing, all the kind of like mix details that go with that. So yeah, probably something up in that number of hours. Craziest sound you've ever actually, craziest sound you've ever resampled and used for something important. What's important? I mean, my whole thing, the reason why I got a lot of commercial work in the last few years, and the reason why a lot of my YouTube videos took off is because I was sampling the craziest stuff. So like 1,000 pairs of pants that I used for one of my earliest commercials. It was a pants commercial. I mean, I don't know if you would call a commercial important, but those are sort of the ones where I feel like, someone that wasn't me just messing around. Someone approached me and said, we want you to do this. We want to pay you to do it. And we're going to, use a marketing budget to blast this out everywhere. So if that's important, then yeah, maybe one of the weird things I've sampled over the years for a commercial, like a car or frozen fries. I did that one about a year ago. Or, if you think my YouTube videos are important, I sampled a piano that my buddy Simon the Magpie dropped off of a 20-foot crane. It was like an old piano that was going to be trashed anyway, so he recorded the sound of it smashing to the ground, like, as if you were going to kill a cartoon character. And I turned that into a track that I ended up releasing, and it was also a really fun YouTube video. Favorite warp mode in Ableton? Man, it really depends. But I definitely use Beats and Complex Pro the most. They're definitely the most handy depending on the task. And then, yeah, texture is fun for textures, but it's pretty rare that I'll go there instead of just kind of like messing with textures in a different way. Let's try and do a few more questions here. Looks like we've got, yeah, like 6 or 7 more. Favorite soft synth and why? Okay, I've got 2 answers. It's a tie between Serum and Phase Plant. Serum just because it's definitely the best for those really growly, you know, dubsteppy, wavetable-y kind of things. I think it's got a lot of really great effects, and it's cool that Xfer actually also broke that out into its own plugin, just the Serum effects, because those sound great. And then the Phase Plant plugin is a newer synth. I don't know, maybe it dropped several months ago, but it's great because it's kind of modular. It's kind of like, you know, you don't have a set number of envelopes or LFOs or oscillators or whatever. It starts completely blank, and then you just click and say, like, I want an LFO, or I want a random source, or I want a wavetable oscillator, or an analog emulating oscillator, or anything, and you can just build these massive patches with exactly what you need for them. And also, as a side benefit, the interface is then not cluttered up with all the stuff that you're not using. You know, if you've got like Massive, for example, has all of these, you know, LFOs and step sequencer performer stuff, and if you just have a simple patch where it's not using it, like a huge chunk of the interface is just there for no reason. So yeah, I think Phase Plant is an amazing one for layout workflow, and it does sound great. If you could only use one instrument for the rest of your life, what would it be? I mean, microphone and Ableton, if that counts. I don't know. I feel like I would just go back to the basics and use a piano and just have to get good at piano. But it's such a timeless, classic, beautiful instrument, and has, you know, a huge range. You can mess with it doing like prepared piano stuff. Like if you guys have seen people putting like tape or like rubber erasers and different things to kind of change the way that the strings in a piano sound, I think that's super fun. Best things to do when starting a YouTube channel, things to buy, things to do in your videos. I think knowing why you want to do a YouTube channel is really important, and having a bit of a compass with it. You know, it can be kind of random. It's very possible to make a channel about anything, which is one of the cool things about it. But having a focus, I think, is good. I guess this kind of goes back to the branding question. And try to be consistent. I feel like one video a week is a good starting point for most types of content. Like maybe not if you're a hand animation artist, but for most other types of content, most other topics, you could probably come up with one video a week. And that's a good place to start, just to have, you know, to be building a library of stuff that people, when they find your channel, will have more to dig into than just like a couple videos. And then also, the more you do it, the better you're going to be at it, the more you're going to see what's working and not working and how to improve. Things to buy, I mean, that really depends on what you're making, but I think we are at a point where the webcam quality and phone quality isn't necessarily cutting it anymore. I would see if there's an HD camera you can afford. And then things to do in your videos. The one thing is like having verbal calls to action, probably just one per video to really focus where you want your viewers to go. But at the beginning, asking people to subscribe is a great thing to do. That's like the main way that you're going to grow your channel and have people come back, ask them to turn on notifications. And something that I find really helpful that I'm not doing as much anymore, it's been a while, but like doing stuff that jumps onto a trending topic, and you see, you know, all kinds of different channels do this, whether it's musicians covering the hot song of the moment, or like, what was in my algorithm the other day? There was like some magazine does like 73 questions. Is it Vogue? Anyway, Variety, and you know, they're gonna do interviews with people who have a really popular project at the moment, because people are searching for those actors or directors or whatever. So yeah, any kind of tentpole events, they call them, because on a graph the search numbers go up for those topics when they're highly popular and relevant at the moment. What piece of gear speeds up your workflow the most? That's a good one. I don't know, man. My computer. I can't, I'm totally blanking. I guess like sometimes the things that I feel like speed up my workflow for one thing make them slower for another thing. Like, so for instance, I love my hardware synths, and I love that, you know, you're playing with no latency. You've got a lot of the times one knob per function, everything is there. You don't have to be clicking around and looking for stuff. At the same time, you know, dealing with a physical object, you've got to like sometimes move it to use something else, or you know, get your cabling going. Those kinds of things, depending on what project you're working on, can definitely be different. Let's see. Any advice for a mic to record samples? Low budget. Man, what is the I guess, so I use a Zoom H6, and that's what I've used for tons of stuff, and it's a little bit more expensive. I want to say it's in like maybe the $400 range, but it's both, you get mics and a recording device with it. But the Zoom stuff, I've used some of the other ones too, and they have lower budget models of their audio recorders that have mics with them. And I mean, you can get a Shure SM57 and 58 for like, I don't know, a little over $100, and those are just classic standards. But you know, then you need your audio interface to record through. But yeah, I don't know of anything else, because I haven't been looking at like the budget mics in a little bit. Been pretty happy with what I've had for a very long time. Okay, a couple more questions here. What's your favorite company for virtual instruments? I guess if you're talking about like instruments that are like not synths, but like sampled, like real instrument libraries or emulations, I've used the NI stuff the most, the Contact stuff. Within that, I do really like Output has their analog brass and winds and analog strings plugins, which are kind of a blend between synthy and sampled live instrument sounds. They're really, really lush. So yeah, definitely check those out. And last question of the day, what career if not music? And I don't know what I would be doing if I weren't doing music. I've always been doing music. I was, you know, recording bands back in the day. I was producing for other people. I was doing stuff for commercials. I was writing like random personalized little ditties for people, like whoever would find me on the internet. Used to play live a bit, and it's just been my whole life. So I don't know. I don't have other skills. That's the truth. Maybe I would maybe try and, no, teaching music is still in music, but yeah. Sorry guys, I'm a one-trick pony. That's me. I'm just gonna hop over to the chat and say bye to y'all. Maybe see if there's any other like final things to chat about. But thank you guys so much for being here. This was super fun. Thanks Ableton for putting this on and you know, still making a little bit of that loop energy happen, even though we had to cancel for obvious reasons. And yeah, I mean, hope you guys are all safe and having an all right time at home. Hope this was inspiring for you. It was kind of a mess, but I mean, considering the time limitations and all the instructional hoops I was jumping through, I'm pretty happy about it. I really like that one of those first sounds we made, the super like glitchy thing. That's got to become something else. That's got to, yeah, it's just so crazy. Okay, here's the question I'm going to go out on. How to not get discouraged when you're starting out. So I think that, I mean, here's what I'll say. Even like where I am now, I still get discouraged sometimes because there's so many people out there who just doing amazing things. And it's, you know, you want to be able to reach those higher heights, of course, all the time. We're all interested in doing the best thing that we can do, in reaching for more. I think that enjoying the process is the main thing that's always that I always come back to, and that is sort of what is underlying all of my videos, even though I don't necessarily talk about it all the time. But it's really like doing what you're doing because it's interesting and exciting. And while you may want to be mindful of how you can improve and how you can grow, and looking to the people who are way beyond you for inspiration and stuff like that, I think it's good to kind of compartmentalize that. Like you have your time where you're doing things as a business, where you're trying to grow, where you're trying to optimize or improve and build your skills or whatever all that might be. But I think when you are sitting down at your little work area, whatever it is, and you're making music and you're just like in that zone, I think that's the best thing. And that's, no matter what else is going to happen, you always have that. And just by doing that regularly and by enjoying it and really immersing yourself in it and enjoying, the things that you aren't good yet, but that you're improving on, and seeing those little bits of progress, and celebrating that, I think that is the biggest thing. So hope that answers the question. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to sign off now. But yeah, what else can I say? Thanks, Ableton. And if you haven't already been to check out my channel, Andrew Huang, Huang, on YouTube. And also learnmonthly.com/Andrew. I run an online course that's everything to do with making music start to finish, and all my little production secrets and tricks. We're opening that up for enrollment in about 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Yeah. And then, yeah, hey, maybe I'll do a follow-up with a more fleshed out version of this thing. I definitely want to play with some of these sounds. Maybe we can even like get a sample pack together at some point with everything that came out of today. Cool. Thanks, guys. Take care.